Tim, we're back.
Good morning, Gloucester and beyond. We should
And
say good
beyond.
morning, Massachusetts.
That's right. We have a big time reach.
Yes,
As a matter of
we-
fact, I got back from vacation, and people can get free Good Morning Gloucester stickers if they send in a self-addressed stamped envelope.
Yeah.
Whenever I come back from vacation, I have like 5 or 6 of these envelopes on my desk, and they're always from all over the country.
I told you we got
Texas.
calls after our last series. We got calls from Needham. You have a big crowd in Needham. Hamilton, and in fact, prior to that, Joey, we got a call from Sturbridge on one of our series that we did.
Yeah.
So you've got a big reach. That's why we should say good morning, Massachusetts this morning.
I know. We might have to blow it up a little bit more. Tim's with Kazalt Solar. If you haven't figured that out by now, I'm one of his biggest fans. Although that's from my perspective. I bet you talk to 300 of your customers because you've done 300 installs now
On the Cape Ann area.
on the Cape Ann area, and you probably each one of those people would probably say that they're your biggest fan
Thank you.
because you put money in everybody's pockets.
Yeah, it's the team. It's the team has done a great job. They really have.
So we're going to do a couple series today. We're going to break them into different individual videos. The first video we're going to talk about incentives, so the incentives have changed, and there are residential incentives, commercial incentives, and then there's residential incentives for different municipalities, and certain municipalities have gone way over the top, like crazy land. So we're going to talk about all three. Which one? We want to start with the residential?
Let's talk about residential.
Okay, residential. These are incentives that and we're going to talk about how your payback is, and you can start talking about it. And what I'll do is I'll focus on the numbers here.
Okay, so let's talk about what we know that will not change this year. The federal tax credit, you get 30% back when you do your taxes for your solar investment. That's for the total solar investment. That isn't changing this year. It is legislated to change next year on January 1st, drop from 30% to 26% should all things remain the same. So we're good for 30% for the remainder of the year for residential.
So when we talk about this, people should understand. So these are the cost of the installation.
Correct.
So you pay for your panels and your installation, and the total number of what it costs. These are credits that you're going to get based on the number of how much it costs to install.
Correct, and a credit is a dollar for dollar payback to the investor, to the resident or commercial business owner. So that's money back to you at the end of the year. The state will pay you $1,000. It's 15% capped at $1,000 state tax credit. That hasn't changed, and that's staying the same for the rest of this year as well. We know we put solar on the property to save electricity, so that savings is staying the same naturally. What has changed significantly this year is that the SREC program, which it stands for Solar Renewable Energy Credits, changed to a new program on November 26th of last year. And the new program is called SMART. It's not as robust as the SREC program. So all the listeners that have solar in their homes, you, Joey, are vested in that SREC program.
That doesn't
change. You're in it for the 10 years.
Yep.
The SMART program, what it does is it basically takes the payout and control of the incentives away from the SREC brokers and gives it to the utilities. The advantage, even though it's less robust, the advantage of the SMART program is when we get our SREC checks, we get them quarterly. The advantage of the SMART program is you're going to get paid monthly. So you'll get a check, and the idea is you open up your electric bill, which you still get if you invest in solar. It will say zero, right? Or a credit.
In my case, we have credits. We have a negative balance on my bills.
That's right, which you carry forward.
Right.
The idea of the SMART program is you open up that bill and out falls a check. And that check will pay you for last month's activity. And it's basically about 12 cents per kilowatt hour today for residential. So you get a check for whatever your solar system produced in that previous month, times 12 cents, you get that check. So it's still a very robust program, great program, still pays your money, saves your money. Your payback in this example for residential on an average system is about 6 to 7 years.
So there you go. That's the bottom. That's the big time number as far as I'm concerned. So people can really put it down. Put it into terms that they can understand. Your payback is 6 to 7 years. Then after that, everything you produce is gravy.
You're basically your own electric company.
Into perpetuity, you are just. And if people can wrap their minds around retiring, and say you retire at 61 or 63, and you project that you're going to live for 20 more years, and your electricity bill has been paid, is going to be covered for all of those years. That's a nice feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Because we don't know what the cost of electricity is going to be in 10, 12 years. We know one thing about the cost of electricity. It has never dropped on an annual basis. Never.
Right.
It continues to climb. It's going to get a little bit more alarming as they shut down the power plants. Pilgrim's legislated to come offline. Seekonk's already come offline. Seabrook is coming offline. So all the nuclear power plants have to come offline. Well, where is this electricity going to go? Supply and demand. We all know about supply and demand. We know that.
And that's why you see those huge spikes in the winter months.
Correct.
On your electric bill, because the electric companies, the suppliers are going out on the open market, and there's basically auctions for electricity.
Correct.
Supply and demand, and the price that they have to pay, especially when they shut down these plants,
that's exactly
it's going to be astronomical.
That's correct.
All right,
that's residential.
That's residential. We're gonna put this sheet away, and we're going to go to the next sheet, which is commercial. Commercial is even so actually we're going from good benefits to better benefits we're going to finish with the absolute. If you don't do it, you're pretty much an idiot. We're going with commercial. Why don't we explain the benefits, the commercial incentives?
Commercial runs similar to, it's a little bit more complex, but we take the complexity out of it for the consumers. Commercial runs similar to residential with some exceptions. They do not get the state $1,000 because they're a commercial building. They get something better. I'll explain in a minute. They get the federal tax credit, 30%, no cap. There is no cap on the commercial. So they get paid that. Then they get the electricity savings as well. And then they get the big kahuna that I call it. The commercial investor for the commercial property gets to depreciate the cost of the investment at 80% of the value of that investment accelerated over 5 years. 85%.
Yeah.
That's pretty phenomenal.
That is phenomenal.
They can choose whether to take that in the accelerated 5 years or they can take it over the life of the solar system. What this all means, the federal tax credit, the depreciation, the smart incentive, because they get a smart incentive as well. Right now, the commercial smart incentive is about 10, 11 cents, depending on where you are, whether you're in Eversource territory or National Grid. We can talk about that when we sit with the investors. And then what that means, Joe, is that the payback is shrunk, providing we have good productivity. You're in the 4 to 5 year range. Okay, could be better.
Insane.
It could be better.
Insane.
Yeah. It is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
So here's something that I just kind of thinking about this, the no cap and the federal tax credit. People that have businesses, you can do it through can you do it through your business and send the solar savings to your house?
Yeah, the majority of my commercial customers will put it on their building, and through virtual net metering, they'll take the excess of the electricity that solar system creates and offset their home, the electricity cost of their home.
So so there's some creative things you can do here.
Yes.
So you can depreciate it, and the excess can be used on your home.
Correct.
And there's a lot. There's
Majority of my business owners that have invested in solar do that very point. They send it to their house.
Yeah, you're crazy not to.
Yeah.
All right, there's number 2. Now, residential incentives in municipalities. Let's talk about this now.
Yes, let's talk about the municipalities. There's about 44 municipalities, private electric community lighting divisions. Ipswich is a good example. They have their own municipality electric company. Raleigh has theirs. Reading has theirs. So there's 44 in the state. They do not participate in the SMART incentive program. SMART incentive program is for the deregulated or regulated electric companies, National Grid, Eversource. Mm-hmm. So the municipalities got together, and this is breaking news. This is pretty phenomenal. Breaking news. The state and the municipalities got together and said, we realize you're not in the SMART program. Let's talk about a municipal light program, solar rebate program. It was launched, announced on Thursday night of this last week. It's effective on May 20th. So how it works is the municipality and state will pay $1.20 a watt cash rebate, $1.20 a watt cash rebate up front. After the incentive, you get it on about 60 to 90 days, and that's a cash rebate. So our average solar system is about 8,000 kilowatt hours residentially. This is for commercial as well. 8,000 kilowatt hours. So 8,000, if my math is right, times $1.20 is about $9,600 in a cash rebate that's payable up front. Now,
so I'm going to put this up. So this is what people need to understand, which is this is the crazy part, right?
Yep.
So if you're in one of these communities, and what are some? Ipswich, Raleigh,
Reading, North Reading, Hull, Massachusetts. Out west, there's several more.
If you're in one of the ones that we just know in this, so not only on an average system would you get the $9,600, you also get the federal tax credit of 30% with no cap.
Correct.
So, and then the state, the $1,000 from the state tax credit.
Yes.
So it's almost a double incentive, and you're getting it right up front.
Yeah, the difference between the municipality program and the SMART program is the municipality program pays the cash incentive up front. The SMART program, as we know, pays, just like SREX, pays over 10 years. But if you're a listener and you're in one of the municipalities, and by the way, I should put a footnote, the municipalities can choose whether to participate or not. We're calling all the municipalities right now to see which ones are participating and who is not.
Oh.
Now, we do know, and if you're a listener in Ipswich, Massachusetts, pay close attention, because you get not only do you get the $1.20 a watt, Joe, you get an extra 30 cents per watt if you invest in solar in the town of Ipswich.
So you get $1.50 per watt.
$1.50 in Ipswich.
Bananas.
So what does that mean? That means you, on average, you get an additional $1,900 back on top of the $7,600, and the payback, as you like to look at it, is reduced to 4 to 5 years, depending on the productivity of your solar system.
Just absolutely insane. So, yeah, I mean, every one of them makes sense. If you live in Ipswich, you don't do it. You have to have your head examined. We talk about it all the time. Commercial. If you have a commercial building and you are making money, you can depreciate. This is all money that's going to go right into your pocket. And when you're looking at ways to make money and save money and pay back on capital, there's not much more that you can get a guaranteed payback like you can with this.
That's right. Everything else we do, as you know, we do other home improvements. Every other home improvement we do, we add value to the home. Solar not only adds value to the home, it pays your money and saves your money.
Yeah, and when you're done paying for it, then the gravy factor is when you're just sitting back and laughing at everybody around you, especially in the middle of the winter.
And you bring up a good point about the net metering. As you'll see in one of the following testimonials, several of my commercial clients, customers, started out as residential solar investors.
Oh.
They liked it so much, saw such great value and payback that they're expanding it now, putting on their commercial properties.
Yeah.
And you'll hear about one of those in an upcoming testimonial.
There you go. All right, Tim, Consult Solar and Home. I'll put in the notes on this post where you can contact Tim directly. They come out. They're going to give you a packet. It doesn't cost anything for them to come out. They're going to design on your roof what it would look like. They're going to tell you what the payback, how long do they think the payback is going to be, how much it's going to produce, and in every instance that of anyone that I've talked to that's done this, what their estimates that they got up front before they signed any paperwork were exceeded by what their actual system produced. So you can feel pretty confident dealing with Tim and his company, who are local people that you'll run into at the grocery store, and everybody's been really happy. So thanks for coming in, Tim.
Thank you. Good morning, Massachusetts.